Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. It is Monday, the first day of December already. Hopefully I'm not getting you sick already.
I was going to say, I'm already coughing and stuff. What's going on, man? You don't sound wonderful right now.
I don't feel wonderful either.
No,
I don't feel wonderful because of the high school state championship broadcast. I'm sorry. No, there's been this sinus thing going around.
Yeah.
And I've become the next victim of it. So
I'll probably be next.
Well, I do apologize in advance.
Yeah, it's okay.
Be jolly.
Be jolly.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, David Rice. Be jolly.
You
it's
wanted
Christmas
to say
time.
something else, but
well,
although what does make us a little bit happier is Friday, Lumen Christi got their 4th straight football championship.
One heck of a game, man. That was one heck of a game.
After winning his 100th playoff game and moving into second place on the all-time wins list last week, Lumen Christi head coach Herb Rogan and the Titans were back at Ford Field this past Friday looking for a record 4th straight state championship on Friday. This was the first time ever that Lumen has won 4 in a row, and just the, I believe, 5th or 6th school ever to do 4 in a row. Lumen Christi faced Kingsley in the MHSAA Division 6 football state championship. Titans came out hot to open the game. First drive, 7 plays, 72 yards. Got on the board. Aiden Gatewood, the freshman, scored the touchdown. And then our guy, Sean Walicki, took it to the house on the next drive from 60 yards. And then Kingsley answered, tied it up at halftime at 14. And that second touchdown was right after a nice punt by Kingsley, put it inside the 5-yard line. Lumen had the tush push.
Yeah, it was like the one.
Yeah, fumbled. At first, they rolled him down.
Yeah.
You watch the replay, it was obviously a fumble, and they challenged it.
You could see him rip the ball from him on the replay before the challenge. I saw him rip the ball from him, but you couldn't clearly see because he's going into a big pile of guys, so you can't really see. But one of the angles that they were able to see showed it clearly. And one other thing, like when you were mentioning the opening couple drives where they were up 14-0, I thought, oh, man, this is going to be a long day for Kingsley because I thought, like, oh, they're just going to run away with it. Kingsley played extremely well, came back, dominated on that drive, were able to score, and then stop Lumen, and then punted it extremely well and got that huge touchdown. So good recovery. So after the first half, I was like, this is gonna be a game.
Right. So we were tied at 14 at halftime, no scoring in the third quarter. But then at the start of the fourth quarter, Lumen blocked a Kingsley field goal that would have given them the lead.
Yep.
I really feel like from there, that's where it turned. Was
Lumen
the blocked
Christi
field
took
goal.
over after that, yeah.
So after the blocked field goal, Lumen used nearly 5 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter. 75-yard drive to take the lead with just 6 minutes left. Johnny Walters on a 23-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback, Benny Gaston. And then Walters would be the hero again for Lumen, intercepting a deep ball. Watching the replay on it from the broadcast there, I don't think the Kingsley quarterback saw the second defender there.
I don't think so.
He was kind of hidden, at least based on that camera angle from the replay.
All this happened right in front of me and Noah because I was standing right behind Noah. And, I mean, it looked like he was throwing that pass right to us on the sidelines. And it picked off. Beautiful play. I should have. I told Noah at that moment, I said, if I would have caught that ball, I would have ran and just took it to the house and dove towards the pylon. The crowd would have went crazy.
Well, that would have been viral.
It would have. It would have been awesome.
Well, yeah, I think the most viral thing from the state finals, Division I, we had the big man pick
so
6
sick.
for Detroit Catholic
that
Central.
Is so sick.
So after Walters got the interception for Lumen, Sean Walicki again, 34-yard touchdown run, iced the game 28-14. Lumen Christi, fourth straight football state championship. Quarterback Benny Gaston, 8 of 13 passing for 111 and a touchdown. Sean Wilicki, really one of the leaders for Lumen all year. 142 yards and 2 touchdowns on offense, 17 tackles on defense. And the freshman Aiden Gatewood also rushed for a touchdown, and Gavin Lewis led Kingsley with 90 rushing yards and a receiving touchdown. Lumen Christi finishes 11-3, 15th state championship in school history. Herb Brogan has now won his 101st playoff game of all time and is now 10 wins shy of tying the all-time record. And Coach Herb Brogan after the game with Josh Burgett.
Josh Burgett here with head coach Herb Brogan. Coach, 4 straight state championships, 15 overall. Kingsley was a very tough opponent. Can you talk about what Kingsley did to you guys tonight?
Well, they made us play hard. I think they forced us into a couple of uncharacteristic errors, but they played really aggressive defense. The offense is just difficult to stop. They gave us what I expected they were going to.
Coach, you had to play a little different today. Injuries were part of this game. Your starting tailback, Paul Sattler, was not part of this game for the most part. Second half, you lost Wes Learned in the game. Just talk about kind of how your team overcame those injuries and other players stepped up.
Well, not only Paul, but then Aiden Gatewood got hurt late too. So, we had kids that didn't get a lot of snaps all year at tailback, especially in meaningful situations, step in and make some plays. But I think Dan Horn and the offensive line really came to life there in the fourth quarter.
Talking about Antoine Baker, she's been so much to this team and this program, and the lone returning offensive starter. Just talk about his work ethic throughout the year and what he's been for a leader for your team.
Well, he's a great football player. He's one of the 3 kids we got going both ways, and he's playing in the middle of everything. That's the most physically demanding. And he came out for maybe 3 or 4 snaps today. We're not going to win the ball game without him inside.
Coach, last week when you guys won, you showed the team a picture about a weight room picture from the Monday after your state championship win last week. Can you just talk about what this team has done over the past 365 days to prepare to be here today?
Well, that's one of the things that we stressed to them all year is this has been a 365-day project. We started the day we got back, and we continued over the course of vacations, over the summer, Christmas break, whatever. We just kept working and working and working. And this is definitely not one of our more talented football teams, but it's one of the closest bonded teams that we've had in a long time. And I think that if you could have heard our senior speeches over the course of this week, you can't help but be impressed with the feelings that the kids have for each other and the program. And they played like champions today.
They certainly did. And, Coach, can you talk about your coaching staff? I know how important they are to you and the work that they put in. This season was incredibly tough with a tough schedule, and you guys got back to Ford Field to win your 4th straight state championship. Talk about your coaches and your coaching staff.
Well, it's hard to talk about one without talking about everybody, and that includes a lot of our JV staff who are our seniors in those talks this week called out in particular, of how important they were at the younger levels. But Sean and Dan Horn on the offense, very creative, and we score in every ball game. We score in every game, and then we got Shane, James Williams, and Pete LaFear over there on the defensive front. And Dan Horn does a yeoman's job with the defensive linemen as well. The program success is a reflection of the coaches that are on the staff. I say that as the years go by, I do less and less, and they do more and more. And if they've done more and more, we've probably gotten better.
Coach, can you talk about the adversity this team faced all season long? Just from the start of the year with only one returning offensive starter, not necessarily even knowing what this offense was going to look like, to the schedule, to everything this team faced to get back here today. Just talk about the adversity that your program continues to face and overcome.
Well, I don't know if I would even call it adversity. I would call it challenges because we stayed healthy most of the year, and that's a tribute to the off-season work that the kids did. But, it was tremendous challenges. There were 3 teams that were on our schedule that are playing for state championships today. And Grand Rapids Catholic very easily could have. So I think I figured it out the other day, and the record of teams that beat us was something like 28-2, and that was before the playoffs started. So it was a challenging season. We had to really battle. I think it toughened us up, and the result we can't argue with.
Head coach Herb Brogan, 4th straight state championship for the Lumen Christi Titans. Coach, congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So we have full video highlights and a lot of great photos from that game, too. Shout out to our photographer, John, on our website, jtv.tv.
Yeah, he was great. He was great down there. Yeah, I do want to say something funny about, it's crazy that Gatewood gets a touchdown, freshman. He was in middle school when this
got
run
hurt,
started.
By the way, later in the game. He was the one in the arm sleeve, the cast.
That's right.
And then also Paul Sattler, who's been their main running back the whole year, number 5, he didn't play most of the game. And then their top receiver, Wessler, number 1, got hurt, too.
Yeah. So I had to fight through adversity, and it's this streak that they're on is unbelievable. I mean, I'm extremely lucky that I come to Jackson in 2019, pretty much the start of this insane run. Obviously, tons of championships beforehand, but within this span to be able to win 4 straight is unreal. So super, super fun to be able to follow them this whole season, especially with this being the season. And you can go back and watch our old shows, this season being the season we thought they weren't going to do as well. And then as the season progresses, we're like, all right, they're doing a little bit better. And then towards the end, it's just like, this team's going to win another state championship, aren't they? And then they do. So big props to everybody at Lumen Christi. Awesome program, awesome staff, and everybody. I mean, it's so much fun to be able to cover them and see how well they do.
Well, and it's the schedule they play.
Yeah.
4 out of the 8 state champions are from the Catholic League.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the game we saw before that. We saw Divine Child who beat Lumen, who beat Lumen
here.
Yeah, and that was like a game that came down to the wire. They were the state championship game before Lumen, so it's just the fact that Divine Child, real quick, had an amazing year. The fact that they beat another state champion and they won the state championship in the same season. Crazy. And then that tells you the strength of that loss that Lumen had, that they lost to Divine Child, a champion, a state champion. So crazy.
Hey, can't take anything away from them now.
No, right.
Detroit Catholic Central, and there's different divisions in the Catholic League, so they didn't play each other. But like Detroit Catholic Central won the Division I title, Catholic League. Dearborn Divine Child, Lumen Christi, and then Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
That's right.
The other state final games, Division 8 on Friday, Harbor Beach 31-20 over Hudson. We always like to follow Hudson too, even though they're not directly in JTV's coverage area, but great season for Hudson. And when we had Doug Donnelly on the first time before the season started, he said the team that was going to beat Hudson in the final or later on would be Harbor Beach.
Straight up called it. He straight up called it.
Division 4, Adam just mentioned it, Dearborn Divine Child, 23-22, 1-point victory over Hudsonville Unity Christian. And by the way,
okay,
I think I know
probably
what
I'm going to say. Yeah, go ahead.
Unity Christian scored the touchdown late, 5 minutes left, faked the extra point. In that moment, you faked the extra point.
There's 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
And we went up to the press box to see kind of where you were going to be at and just kind of walk around because it was the game before.
Yeah, they put me in a bad spot, but continue.
And it was crazy. When we were up there, we were just sitting there hanging out for a second where you were going to be, saw the touchdown. And then when they lined up for the kick, we thought like, okay, here we go, big kick. And then the fact that they faked it, we were like, what the heck? And then got stopped and Divine Child just wouldn't give the ball back after that. So crazy.
And then in Division 2, after Lumen's game, it was Orchard Lake St. Mary's 51-14, huge over Dexter.
Well, we didn't miss a really good game while we were on the road driving back, so.
Nope. Well, if we would have been killed on the highway on the way back, we wouldn't have made any games. I was
just about to ask you, any interesting stories from the drive back? Because we drove separately. Since I went back home to see my family for Thanksgiving.
I'm not going to share all of it. I don't want to.
No, that's fine. But
it was
an interesting drive back home, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yep. I'll leave it at that.
Perfect. I like it.
going the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
Sunday, Division 7, Menominee, who played Lumen in the D7 final a couple of years ago. Menominee 34-6 over Schoolcraft. Schoolcraft who beat Hanover in the regional final. Division 3, the Oilers of DeWitt. They use exactly the old Oilers logo.
It's actually kind of sick.
Yeah.
I love that logo.
Division 3, DeWitt 54-20 over Mount Pleasant. All 4 Sunday games were blowouts. Division 5, Grand Rapids West Catholic 42-14 over Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. Lumen beat Pontiac Notre Dame.
Yep.
And then in Division 1, Detroit Catholic Central 42-19 over Cass Tech, including a big man pick 6
Woo!
at the end
You
of
always
that
love
game.
to see it.
Man. So what a great football season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was funny that we had a Menominee parent comment on our post-game interview with Coach Brogan on Facebook, which we just showed it to you, complaining about recruiting and blah, blah, blah.
Really? No kidding.
They didn't even play Menominee.
Yeah.
They played them 2 years ago in a whole nother division, and she's on Jackson TV
Yeah.
complaining.
You know, none of that stuff's going to be said if Lumen didn't win. You know, it's all just because Lumen won that everybody's going to try to find a reason to complain. You know, that's just how it is.
Like if they wouldn't have scored those 2 touchdowns in the fourth, if Kingsley would have won, or it would have been closer,
it would have been nothing.
Nobody
would
would
have
have said
been
anything.
Of course.
it's just complaining when they win.
Yeah, it's just finding another reason other than to blame the result of the game. It's like, got to find a reason to say, well, the reason they won was because of this, not because they played well and they were a good football team, good coach team, good players. Like, of course they're not going to say that.
Yeah, it's not the fact that most of those kids have played together since youth football.
I know.
And they've run the same kind of offense.
And they have the best coach in Michigan high school football history.
Right.
You know, on top of that too. And also it's just like, I've never seen a team run more like a machine than I've seen Lumen Christi over the past few years. I mean, it's just, they're an absolute machine. So it's just like, you can't blame, you got to just say, if you can beat them, you can beat them. If not, don't come up with a bunch of excuses. I don't know. That stuff always just bothers me. It's just trying to find ways to not credit the kids and the coaching staff.
Oh, and also it's only parents that complain about it.
Of course.
Because I've never heard a coach, an opposing coach that's lost to them, complain about it.
Yeah.
During this playoff run, Onstead didn't complain. I mean, they knew they were not going to win, but still, Onstead didn't complain. Coach Shell from Napoleon, he's had to play them a few times in the last handful of years in the playoffs. He's never complained. He said, you know, they're a really good football team. They're physical, and they're the better team.
But I will say this. Whenever you look back in the history of like football or any sport, right, and you have a dominant team like the Patriots, you know, or the Yankees of the...
They're just haters. They're always just going to be haters.
Yeah, it's just
Patriots,
trying to find,
Dodgers.
Yeah, it's just trying to find ways to blame not your performance or not to blame that, oh, the kids were just better, the team was just better. It's finding ways to complain about it, being like, well, Patriots cheat. That was always the thing. Oh, Patriots cheat. That's why they win. It's just like, no, that's not true. So it's just, there's always
Which
like
they
that
have
with teams
before,
and
but I'm
dominance.
not going to...
Okay, we're not going to get into that right
Well,
now.
no, I'm just saying, but I'm not complaining about it all the time like people do.
But that's just such a big thing to be like, well, they only won because of this. And it's just like, stop it. They won. Like I'm a Dodger hater, and I will still not say that about the Dodgers. I won't be like, well, they only won because of all the, you know, the guys they have. Well, no, they just have the best team, you know.
Yeah, they have the best team.
Yeah.
And everybody else has to plan for that.
Yeah, exactly. And Toronto almost beat them. Not to go on a little side tangent, but Toronto
Well, it
was
went to
close.
7 games.
Yeah, Toronto was super close to beat them, and Toronto does not have that team that the Dodgers have. So
No.
yeah.
It's just... the haters are always going to hate.
Yeah.
They're always going to complain about something. You know, and this wouldn't happen, but let's say, like, Lumen doesn't even make the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
Those same parents are going to say, oh, I'm glad the school that recruited finally, you know, gets punished for it.
Well, my big thing,
Like,
too...
Shut the front door.
Yeah. I mean, my big thing, too, is, like, this is the type of team this run that they've gone on so far right now. This is the type of team that you tell your kids, your grandkids about, like, hey,
your great-great-grandkids, your great.
When you see the banners and when you see like the banner that lists all their state titles, you're going to look at this run and be like, oh, I was there at the state championship, or I was there during the season and watched these. So it's like, I feel the same way about the Patriots. Like, I'll be talking about that Patriots run for forever, so it's just kind of like, you need to realize, like, hey, you're just witnessing history right now, and it's good to be receptive to it and not just always try to fight it against it.
Well, and there's always, not to say it again, but there's just haters in the world. That's all.
Well, and it's like,
they want to see their kids win, sure, but everybody does. But it's not. These kids have played together, most of them, since youth football.
Yeah.
They've run the same kind of playbook, offense and defense, from, 4th, 5th grade football, whatever it is.
They're a machine.
And other schools do the same thing.
Yeah.
Napoleon now with the T offense. Coach Schill has said that's in the whole program now, even down to youth. That way, same thing with Lumen. As soon as you get, up to the varsity and you're playing meaningful minutes, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
And the machine is just going to keep being the machine.
Yep. So I guess to take away from...
It's just haters like Matt Seidel and other people that, just complain and complain.
Right. I mean,
not just him, but...
But he's a reoccurring star in that role. I mean, I think the thing to take away from this is, like, don't discredit what these kids... all the hard work that these kids and the coaching staff have put into the season. Don't discredit it by just trying to, jab at them by saying that, oh, you didn't really earn this thing. It's like, you can really say that about kids. It's crazy. Crazy to me that happens, but some of that is social media. So
I think it all is social media. So, anyways, moving on from talking about people hating, coming up on the show today, we did this interview with him probably, a week or so ago? Maybe 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was coming off of the MSG game.
Yeah, it was right after Michigan State beat Kentucky at Madison Square Garden a couple of weeks ago. From Jackson, Carson Cooper from MSU.
Cool guy. That was a fun interview.
Yeah, so he's going to join the show. We also have a deleted scene from last week. The show already went way long.
It was the Thanksgiving show.
Yeah, the Thanksgiving show.
We
by
had
the
to
way,
talk about food, by the way. So, I mean, popular segment, by the way.
By the way, thanks to everybody who checked out our Thanksgiving show. We had a lot of fun doing the top games and especially the top plays.
And especially the top food of Thanksgiving. That was a highlight for me as well. Doing the tier
That was your
list.
highlight?
It was one of my highlights. There can be multiple highlights.
Well, now that we're past Thanksgiving, before we go to break here.
Food. Oh, sorry.
It's mostly the same stuff.
Wait. We'll find something to rank food-wise.
Let's rank different fast food places.
Dude, I'm with you on that. We can do that. But it has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
No, but
just
it's fun to talk about.
Hey, it is. You know what? You're right. It is fun to talk about.
But see, now we got off track and now I forgot what I was.
You were saying...
Oh, our deleted
scene.
We have a deleted scene from the Thanksgiving show. We didn't end up having... the show already was really long. We didn't have enough time to put it in. But the production and the broadcast of the football state finals, pay-per-view, that's really what it was, on NFHS, was garbage. And we recorded... I had a whole... we'll call it rant or eulogy, maybe.
Eulogy.
Because that's how bad it was.
It would have been perfect to play that before the state championship game, because then everything would have been echoed by everybody else, everything you said. So I would have loved to have put it in.
If you look at the MHSA social media, it's already echoed.
I would have loved to have put it in.
Go on their Twitter comments. If you thought Facebook was bad, go look at Twitter.
Oh, no. Well, you'll have to show me some of those after the show.
That just, I need to be off Twitter more than I am.
That's what it sounds like.
Just don't look at what I've said on there.
Okay, will do.
But anyways.
Yeah, so we have that.
We have that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Michigan State finally fired Jonathan Smith.
Yes, I heard that from Max today.
And Lane Kiffin, this whole drama has finally ended.
There? Crazy.
And what's up with the Bears beating Philly on Friday?
Crazy nuts, dude. I couldn't watch the game, so I did not see how it happened. But
yeah, we were in Detroit when that game was
we were on the field
going on. But that's okay. The Bears aren't beating us on Sunday. So, and then huge Turkey Day victory for Green Bay over Detroit. Just dominance. 2.5 sacks for Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year.
That's not going to happen.
And we're going to beat Chicago.
I cannot wait for the Bears to beat you guys.
We're going to beat Chicago on our field and win the NFC North.
Not going to happen.
They flexed it to 4:30. By the way, it should be the Sunday night game.
I can't believe I'm rooting for the Bears to win the North, but that's exactly what I'm doing.
I can't believe you.
Yeah, I am.
Why?
Because I hate the Packers.
Yeah, but don't you not like the Bears?
I hate the Packers more than the Bears. It'd be like what I said. If there was a Guardians-Dodgers World Series, I'd root for the Dodgers. Same thing here. If there's a championship game between the Bears and the Packers, I'm obviously rooting for the Bears.
Anyways.
Just being honest.
Well, I appreciate you being honest.
I hate the Packers is what I'm saying.
I know you do. But that's okay. Lions aren't making the playoffs, so you can watch.
They're going to make the playoffs.
You can watch the rest of the season from the couch.
And you can play our Madden game wearing a Lions jersey. Because you lost the picks.
That's fine. I just know we beat you guys both times, so I'm still happy.
We'll see what you do in the playoffs if you make the playoffs.
If
you make the playoffs. I mean, I wish, I'll just say this right now. I wish that there was a point system because you guys would be in tough shape losing to the teams you've lost to so far and the tie.
Well, there shouldn't even be a point system. Not even in high school.
Yeah.
And also, winter sports season for high school begins this week. Boys basketball beginning this week. Mm-hmm. We've got some really good basketball games right off the bat this week. And then the girls basketball next week. Next Tuesday the 9th, we'll have a girls game live on JTV. I'm very excited for that.
Yes.
So, when we come back, Carson Cooper of the Michigan State Spartans will join the show. Happy holidays, and thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. We'll be back. Welcome back here on JTV. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency, myinsuranccircle.com. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. Happy to now welcome to the show here on JTV from Jackson, Michigan State Basketball Center, Carson Cooper, number 15. Carson, appreciate you joining the show. Great win for you guys last night against Kentucky. And thanks for taking a few minutes with us. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, David. It's going pretty well. I'd say, obviously big win yesterday. So much better vibe today than if we would have lost. So.
Yeah, absolutely. 83-66 over number 12 Kentucky at Madison Square Garden. 20 points for Jackson Kohler. How important has he been for you guys, and how big was his game against Kentucky?
Yeah, he's been our most solid player, most consistent guy all year, and probably ever since here. So the fact that he was able to do a little bit of everything and keep them on their toes defensive wise is huge. Like the way he's been able to stretch out and make some threes, and then also scoring the paint is huge for spreading out their defense and making them think. So he's been the most solid for sure.
What's it like playing at such a historic arena like Madison Square Garden? Because we see it on TV, but what's it like as a player walking out of the tunnel and just seeing it in person, and some of the other cool gyms and arenas that you guys have had the chance to play at?
Yeah, it's always it's always unreal to really understand like the history that's at some of the places that we play at, especially Madison Square Garden, one of the most famous arenas in the world. So, Coach said something before the game where he was saying he had to do some radio interviews, and they were telling him like this is his 19th time, I think, playing at the Garden, and he just told us like it's even for him, it's every time he plays there, it's there's no overlooking the fact that this is it's a great opportunity and it's a great venue to play in. So he hasn't gotten used to that at all either. And I think this is my fourth time. This is my fourth time playing there, but it's still it's still unreal. And you look up and you see the banners and you see the names and you just think about all the people that have been there before you. And I think like John Cena was at the Garden before, like the night before, and he was doing some big WWE things. So like it's pretty cool to the opportunities that we've got to experience, and I'm glad we made the most of it last night. So,
what's from your time so far at MSU? What's the toughest arena you think you've had to play in, and then what's your favorite arena? Doesn't have to just be the Big Ten schools; it can be any arena. But what do you think's the toughest arena you've had to play in, and then what's your favorite?
I mean, it's always toughest arena is always probably usually Mackey or Michigan. I guess Michigan more my freshman year when they were a little better, but Mackey and Maryland's also another tough place to play when they get rocking, because we understand that who we are, the program that coach has built. Every game that we play in the Big Ten away, they're going to have a packed out house. They're going to sell out because everyone wants to see that game. So all the arenas are always loud whenever we come to town. So those are probably the toughest that are toughest to play in. My favorite all time was playing the aircraft carrier, but it's not really an arena. It's that's more of a special venue.
Right.
That was my freshman year, but I always get excited to play in. It's tough. I don't really have any. Obviously Madison Square Garden's up there with one of my favorites, but it's more of the neutral site. The neutral site arenas that are always fun to play in. I don't really get too excited to go and play on the road in any Big Ten games or anything like that.
Going back to Coach Izzo really quick, obviously I would put him, next to Coach K and John Wooden and Bobby Knight and those, all-time basketball coaches. We seen him on TV and seen him do his thing for a long time in the program that he's built up in East Lansing. But what's it like to play for him and, to see him day to day at practice and what he's like, obviously not just watching you guys on TV?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it's like a dream come true, but I wasn't even, when I was young, I wasn't even dreaming about playing at this level and this kind of environment in this program. So, it's awesome. It's it's something I don't take for granted every day. I try to really live in the moment as much as I can, and I understand that the college years are probably your best years when you're young, and kind of take all that in. But it's I think games like this, you really see Coach still have that energy, that motivation, that fire that still burns in him, that he wants to win. So everybody talks about he's getting older, but when he gets animated and he gets that fire in him, it's like, man, I don't see how he could ever retire or get away from what he's doing. So it's awesome, but for sure.
And Coach Izzo is going to always be Coach Izzo, no matter how old he is.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think is like the best thing, greatest thing that you've learned from being with Coach Izzo?
Obviously there's so many things that you just kind of pick up on. I think the biggest thing for me is just how to be resilient. Obviously we're going to go through tough times, and we're going to be in tough situations, and it's a stressful job that he has and that we have. So understanding how to kind of put all the other outside distractions and stuff away when you really need to lock into what a certain task is, and when things don't go great, how to really respond to that. Because my freshman sophomore year we weren't winning as much, I guess, to our standards that we have, and that kind of really helped me early on to experience wise to understand what we're doing to get away from that and how to get better. So just being resilient overall is probably the biggest thing that I've taken away, and not folding to that pressure, not folding to any of the outside noise. So.
That is awesome. And, we kind of mentioned this earlier. You grew up in Jackson, then you went to IMG and then to, or not Michigan, in Jackson, and then went to IMG and then Michigan State. What do you think you brought from your experience here in Jackson to then IMG? And then what do you think you brought from IMG going to Michigan State?
Yeah, I mean, I was always, I've been blessed to have grow up in a great household where I've had supporting parents my entire life. So, kind of having that open mindedness throughout my entire journey has paid dividends for me. Going from Jackson and then playing at FC Prep and then going to IMG, just kind of not shying away from an uncomfortable moment or any uncomfortable situations, and just kind of just being able to to feel good about a new situation, and just to understand that the path is part of the rewards, or the journey is part of the rewards. So I just try to keep an open mind in each situation I was getting myself in, and understand that God's going to put me on the right path, and just trusting in Him to get me where I need to go. So. I've been in a lot of situations. IMG was obviously a little different than Jackson, Michigan, and obviously IMG is a little different than Michigan State. So, just being able to adapt and just having an open mind ultimately, helped me in my career.
Just bouncing off of what Adam said, of course, started basketball here in Jackson and Northwest. Do you have a favorite memory or a highlight of playing for the Mounties and playing with some of your friends here from Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, that's it's tough, because that's it's so weird to think that was like 6 or 7 years ago. It's tough, but yeah, it was awesome. Kind of going back and playing with my best buds. A lot of the time, you don't really think too much about the games. It's more of the the travel days, and the days that you're you're hanging out at each other's house, like pregame or postgame or something like that. Just hanging around the guys is awesome. But at that moment, I didn't even know like I was gonna play play basketball at the Division I level. But it was really cool. I think my freshman year, I started on the freshman team a couple of games, and I went to JV a couple of games, and I went to varsity for the rest of the season. So my freshman year was pretty fun. I got to play with some of my buddies in the freshman team, some of my buddies in the JV team, and then obviously some of my friends in the varsity team. So a little bit of everything.
So the season, of course, has already started, but what's the off season like for you? And just from the having the time off in the summer, how do you guys get back into the routine of the season once camp and practice starts again?
Yeah, the offseason is always, it's always going to be tougher than the season, just because of the schedule and stuff. From when the season gets over, we've got that kind of off mainly until like June. So we're usually back on campus like June 1st, getting back to it and getting all the guys together and stuff like that. So, it's tough, but for me, I've just tried to continue to build on my craft and really work on, the facets of my game and the facets that coach need me to work on to get better and help us produce. So I think, every year I'll continue to get better, continue to develop in the off season. And I think this summer I've had my best off season where I'm able to really feel the most comfortable, the most confident in what I'm doing. And just continue to be a leader. So.
Yeah, and I know that obviously in high school it's super tough to balance practices, games, all that stuff, preparation, and your schoolwork. For anybody that's in high school about to go into college ball, how difficult is it to prepare for a big basketball game at Madison Square Garden while also trying to balancing schoolwork and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for sure. I think, obviously I'm a senior now, so it gets a little easier as you get older. When it comes to time management and just staying organized with what you're doing. But we have a great support system over here with academic advisors and academic coordinators and tutors and everything that we need to be successful on and off the court. Coach, coach will say that he wants us to focus on academics before basketball, but we all know that's kind of that's yeah, he has to say that
Right.
for certain reasons. So it's tough, but I've just continued to get better with my time management and understanding. Try not to try not to procrastinate too much and get stuff done when you can, knowing that you got games coming up. So like something like yesterday, I'm trying to get everything done. Sunday or on the weekend, so I don't have to worry about it the day before the game.
Is that kind of your big advice to anybody that would be going into college athletics, is just kind of like taking advantage of your time and also like taking advantage of advisors and all that stuff and just not procrastinating?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think overall, it's so easy to just get caught up in, you're tired or you got something else going on, or you just put it off. Like I got caught in that early in my first couple of years here, and it's so easy to just put it to the side and say I'll get to it later, and then next thing you know, you got assignments you got to work on the day before the game, and it gets tough, and it just adds more stress to your life than you really need. So. Yeah, for sure. That's probably the biggest thing that I've been able to improve on, and for advice for people coming up.
I know it was tough for me in college to balance all that, and I wasn't playing at Madison Square Garden, so I can imagine.
It was obviously last year, tough loss to Auburn in the Elite Eight. What's the expectation for you guys this year? Obviously, you guys want to get past the Elite Eight and make it to the final weekend. But what's the expectation for the team this year? You guys have quite a few weapons back, too, from last year's team.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. Like that's the goal. We've kind of got, at least for me, I've been here for 4 years. I've gotten a taste of every weekend, and my freshman year, Sweet 16, second year we get lost in the second round, and then last year the Elite Eight. So we're just we're hoping to get to that final weekend, but first off, we're just looking at trying to do what we can in the non-conference games and handle those, and then obviously try to win back-to-back Big Ten championships. Just because for the guys that return and were here last year, we kind of know what it takes now to get to that point, and how well we need to play as a team, and we got guys that are new that came in and are fitting right into what we need to be successful.
I was watching some highlights, of course, and I was watching stuff from the Big Ten championship. What was that like to be able to participate in that tournament and then ultimately win it?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there's probably going to be some Michigan fans listening to this, and I'm sorry, but it doesn't get much better than what we got to do with beat them on our home court for the championship, and have that celebration along with the senior night celebration, and get the trophy and the confetti and all that. That was an unreal moment, and it's something that with that team that we had last year, we continue to talk every day, and it's going to be something that we're going to continue to have that bond, that lifelong bond, and it's one of those experiences that you're never going to forget. So that's something that we want to have with these guys as well that we have now.
Before we let you go, just looking at the schedule for this year, really some tough games, obviously tough Big Ten schedule, Michigan twice, Illinois, Purdue, UCLA, Wisconsin, but also have both North Carolina and Duke on the schedule this year. What's it going to take for this team? I know you're trying to focus one game at a time, but with that kind of a schedule, what's it going to take for this team to beat some of those really good basketball teams, and what do you guys have to do to win those battles and contend again for national championship?
Yeah, I mean, coach is coach, so he loves scheduling really easy non-conference games for us. But No, I mean we got a taste of it yesterday, and just what it takes to have a team win, and we understand that even in Arkansas and Kentucky, like those 2 wins are huge because a lot of those guys are projected draft picks and might be better than us individually, and North Carolina and Duke, it might be better than us individually on paper, but if we can continue to play team basketball and just stick with one another and play for the brother next to you, that's going to win us games right there. So we saw that last year and how deep we were and how everybody was able to play to their strengths and play to their expectations. So we just got to do that to another higher level this off, or not this offseason, just these non-conference games coming up to give us a good jump going into Big Ten play.
Carson Cooper joining us here on JTV from Jackson and Northwest. Carson, appreciate you taking some time with us. Congrats on a couple of great wins to start the year, and good luck the rest of the season. So maybe we'll have to check back in with you later on. So appreciate it again. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Carson Cooper here on JTV. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. I didn't introduce ourselves earlier. If you don't know who we are,
I think you did, actually.
We did?
I think so. I'm gonna let it pass because you're sick right now, so you're just struggling to make thoughts right now, so it's fine.
No, my thoughts aren't struggling. Just my
Everything else,
sinuses are struggling. You can probably hear it.
You can.
I'm still hoping to go to Onstead and Hanover Horton Tuesday night.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I'm going to try to get better before that. If not, I don't want to get a bunch of people sick there.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we have a deleted scene to show you, and I don't think we've ever done this on the show before where we've done something.
No, I don't think so.
But, as we've said several times, it's a shame with what we've come to with postseason TV coverage of high school football. And we recorded this before the state finals this past weekend. And now that the production there was awful, that just adds on to what I said here. In the D8 final, Harbor Beach Hudson, the very first game Friday, the stream didn't start till halfway through the first quarter.
I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how you can do that.
A bunch of people are commenting on MHSA's Facebook page and Twitter. Stream's not working. I've logged out, logged back in. I've done everything. And they actually responded to somebody who commented that. And you get ready for this. They said, "Oh, all you got to do is just refresh your screen. It's working on our end."
Yeah, I don't think it was.
That's like saying unplug it and plug it back in. Anyways, we have a deleted scene. I went on for a long time about it. So here it is. Not a very far drive from Hudson, though.
No.
So you could have made it back home and watched the rest of it on NFHS.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wait.
If you wanted to do that.
Oh, wait. NFHS doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to talk about this?
I have to.
Okay.
I have to get this off my chest.
Sure, go ahead.
Because I've been very upset with this.
Yeah.
Let's set up for this.
Oh.
Okay. Before we go to break. Also, if you follow JTV Sports on Twitter, this is where I'll start with this. You may have seen a couple of tweets that we put out. I am not going to say who from the office put that out because I'm not going to do that to that person. But it is, it was two tweets. One was, should have used JTV for the broadcast instead of NFHS. Now, not to pull back the curtain on broadcasting and too much,
but just a little bit here. For the later games in the playoffs and some games in the regular season, if you watch on NFHS, if it's not just the robotic camera that sucks and doesn't work, and if it's actually full camera, good replay and announcers, it's actually a crew that was hired or paid to do the game. It's just airing on NFHS Network. And the first tweet we put out was should have used JTV for the broadcast. The broadcast that was used in the Almont Lumen game, the audio that was used was from Almont's radio. So, number one, biased announcers to begin with. And also, if you watch back at that game or if you watch live, the feed was frozen. It kept lagging, and at one point just quit working. This is what we've come to where it used to be open, I guess, I don't know the correct word, open rights, we'll call it. Because for the state championship, even though it was taped, it wasn't live, we, JTV, or anybody for that matter, we were still able to do playoff games on video and state championship tape delay, air it later that night. And that's what we did for so many years, whether it was Lumen at Ford Field or other teams in their playoff games before, or if they made it to whatever it might have been. But we went from having an open market essentially to where anybody can do the game. Sure, you still have to pay the rights fees, but that's different discussion. We went from that, to where people locally here that root for Lumen Christi or just fans of football that wanted to watch the game that couldn't go to Ford Field, they could watch it here locally on JTV, or if we did live audio, listen to it. We go from that to, it's always been live on Fox Sports Detroit, which was Bally, which is now FanDuel, which is a gambling. FanDuel's obviously a sports book. It's a sports gambling betting site. And if it's supposed to be about the kids, which is what, regardless of any state, doesn't matter, high school sports is about the kids for the love of sports. And if you really want to maximize and get as many viewers and listeners and looks as possible, you have to keep it open whatever media wants to video or do the game. That's how you're going to get even more people. But, like I was saying, it's supposed to be about the kids. Apparently, obviously, if you've watched how bad these cameras have been, not just this year, we've complained about it for a while since we haven't stopped, have not been able to do the playoffs. Since we haven't been able to, it's a robotic camera. If you didn't know this, I'm going to tell you. The camera moves based on, it detects movement. So, and it's also like a large group too, and it censors that. So if there's a large group of people, let's say, walking underneath the camera at said field or stadium, the camera's going to cut to those fans eating a hot dog in the stands because it detects more movement than the movement on the field. So sometimes when we've showed you NFHS B-roll of some games here, that's why the camera looks off, is because of the movement based on detection. Those cameras are not manned, and it's one camera, and it also, some games have an actual score bug. Most of the time it doesn't work, and other times it's a shot picture-in-picture of the scoreboard at the stadium. And even then, look at Lumen's feed. I showed it to you, and it was a picture of the scoreboard, but it was crunched in. And then the other tweet that we put out was just #frozen, which is what I just mentioned. So anyways, we go from an open market to where anybody can do the game, Sure, you still have to pay the rights fees, but it's a state championship. I would pay that in a heartbeat. Who wouldn't? You go from that to then we're live audio only, and then it's exclusive to FanDuel, Bally, whatever. And now it is the state finals are on NFHS Network this year. And it's only a couple of camera broadcasts. They are going to have a production with replays and announcers, but only a couple of cameras and announcers. And it's not free. You still have to pay. And the however many, $13, $14, whatever, $14.99 that you pay, it's for the whole weekend. So you're forced to pay for the whole weekend instead of just $5 or $6 per game. So eventually, more people, not that enough people aren't talking about it already, because if you look at at least Michigan people who cover high school football or follow high school football, more and more people are not happy with us. I can't tell you the amount of complaints I've seen too about the camera and just having to pay, on and on and on. Something's got to change. No disrespect, no discredit to any other media outlet that does high school games in Michigan. But if you look, especially at state champs, they did, throughout the regular season, they did what was called Score, like NFL Red Zone, but for high school on Friday nights. And when they had the multi-view on there of all the games, and you look at the other productions on there, and then you look at JTV's production. And I've said it earlier, too. We had Austin on at the beginning of the season early on. How much better our broadcast has been from 3 years ago taped to first live a couple years ago to where we're at now. JTV has the best production in the state of Michigan when it comes to high school sports. And I don't think it's close. And even if we're from Jackson, say what you want, especially if we do, let's say, a Lumen Christi state championship game. That doesn't matter. We show up every single game we do, basketball, football, whatever sport, 5 to 7 camera broadcast, 2 to 3 announcers. And also the last thing here too, not to go on and on, we've talked about it before, you get my point, but we've been really frustrated with it. But also, we aren't allowed to do the game because we aren't allowed to run our ads, our commercials that we normally do, you see on our games on JTV. Now, I wonder why that is. On the video board at Novi Saturday, I pointed it out to you too, Michigan Gaming Control Board. Also another game at Lumen during the playoff run, they had the read for Don't Regret the Bet.
Which it was the same read. It was for them. It was for them. It was titled that, but it was from the control board, the gaming control board.
Yeah. So even though the state finals aren't on a gambling network anymore called FanDuel, they still have gambling ads. Don't Regret the Bet, Michigan Gaming Control Board. In past years I've heard a read too for, don't drive drunk. I
guess they could argue those are more PSAs than anything.
That one specifically, yeah, that's kind of a bad example, but still the betting.
Yeah, and again, that's a PSA because it's like don't make mistakes gambling. I get that, but it's a weird setting to put that in. I understand if you put that in,
and I get it's
in
a
pro
PSA
or college game, but still, it's a weird thing because who's betting on high school football?
Right?
It's just weird,
right?
You think you would say that in an NBA game that would be over the things?
Yeah.
You think that they would want to get that out more there than at a high school field for a semifinal?
Yeah. You would think high school football broadcasts would be the one place where you don't have. Let's look at our live parlay odds and everything like that they put in your face all the time.
Yeah.
You would think high school football would be, or any high school for that matter, sport, would be the one place you can go to and not have to worry about that.
Yeah.
No.
I know that we have to go to break, but there's one thing I want to.
Sorry, I had to get that.
Yeah, no, you're
out,
good.
But go ahead.
Well, with the betting thing, just because I think this is an interesting thing, is that like when it, I haven't shied away. I sometimes like to place wagers on some sporting events.
Yeah, but you're not betting on high school football.
I know, but it's like when it first, back in the day before gambling was legalized, they would maybe make like kind of Jason Benetti would say like at the end of a game somebody would miss a kick and that would mess up the spread, and you'd hear him be like, "Ooh, some people aren't going to be happy about that." But that's as close as it would get to talking about gambling. Then once it became legalized, and I always thought those moments were funny, and then it became legalized, and you get a little sprinkling of some stuff in there too where they show you like live odds and stuff, and at the time I was like, oh, that's cool that they're doing that, but it was just a sprinkling of it. Now it's gotten completely out of hand, and there's just
It is out of hand.
It's crazy the amount of drive real quick drive from back home to Novi and then Novi back to here for the game. I can't tell you how many gambling billboards I saw on the way. And it's just between that, commercials, like you said, bringing up the live odds and the live spread and all that kind of stuff. It's just gotten completely out of hand. And I blame the networks for it. It's the same thing. CNN is relying on advertising from like pharmaceutical companies and like those news companies really heavily. It's not just CNN, heavily rely on that. And I feel like now sports has become that too with gambling. They're super reliant on those advertising dollars.
And it's fully on the networks. And in this case with high school, it is fully on the MHSAA. Because even though NFHS is not just in Michigan, they've screwed over several states, the NFHS, with this. Because it's not just in Michigan, it's in Ohio, Missouri, whatever other states. But it's on the MHSAA because they still set their own contract for our state with the NFHS. MHSAA is getting a huge kickback and making money off these robotic cameras if they want to monopolize high school football media, which is sad that I even have to say that. That's how they're doing it. I'm disappointed. I think in the next couple of years, something will change. It's a long shot, but I think something will change because after this coming weekend, you're going to see more complaints. Now, if I get in trouble for saying that, it is what it is. Somebody says something to me at Ford Field, it's whatever. But just know I'm not the only one complaining. I'm not paying $15 to watch two cameras that detect movement in a state championship. So now I got that off my chest. Now I can sit back down a little bit.
He's stepping off his soapbox now.
Yeah. Now let me tell you how I feel about the NFHS.
Whoa!
Welcome back here on JTV. So, college football. The game Saturday.
It was a game.
They did play a game.
They did play football. You were there.
Unfortunately. And that's about all I have to add on that game.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Michigan lost. Move on.
You don't just say that.
Well, they did, but I'm just saying the result. Like, that's it. I don't want to talk about how they
people
lost.
know what game we're talking about with the game.
Yeah, but if somebody didn't see the game, they might not know who won.
I don't know why you weren't. Well, actually, I do know why you weren't watching. It wasn't a good game, so I don't blame you. Arch Manning in Texas upsetting number 3 undefeated A&M.
Remember what I said on the show? Future Pro Football Hall of Famer Arch Manning.
That's a ballsy prediction.
I said it on the show. I said it on the show before his first start.
Also, Michigan State fired their coach, Jonathan Smith. They went 4-8 this year. He was only there for 2 years at MSU.
Ugh.
Both years, no bowl game.
Yeah, horrible season, though.
And it is now reported that they are going to be hiring Pat Fitzgerald, the former Northwestern coach, And the last time Northwestern was good is when he was the coach.
Yeah.
So this is actually a good hire for Michigan State.
Yeah, we'll see, but not bad.
And Lane Kiffin.
Crazy.
That whole thing is finally done.
For the end of the year.
Over with. He's going to Baton Rouge. Listen, the whole, and I think most people can agree on this whole thing and the way it happened was just all about him. It always has been about him. You look at his social media and the press conferences he's done and interviews over the years, it's just all about him. Oh, what's funny is his daughter's boyfriend plays for LSU.
Oh, that's interesting.
So practice is going to be a lot harder for that man now. He's going to have to work his way back up in the depth chart.
Oh.
And I only mention that because earlier in the year when Ole Miss and LSU played, obviously he was still coaching Ole Miss. His daughter goes to Ole Miss, but her boyfriend plays for LSU. So it was kind of a house divided.
Yeah.
But now she's still going to Ole Miss, but he's coaching him at LSU.
That's nuts.
You imagine what Thanksgiving was like?
Interesting Thanksgiving for that family.
Yeah. I'd rather talk about politics instead. No, I mean, it's always been about him. Look, coming into the season, and even a couple weeks ago, he said, we have a really good team. We're making history right now at Ole Miss. This is where I want to be. We're going to win some playoff games. And now here we are. Fans lined up at the airport yesterday when Lane Kiffin left and just trashed him.
Of course.
They lined up the gates right outside the runway, just tearing him up. And even last week on Pat McAfee, he said, these rumors aren't true. I want to stay at Oxford. And I would never leave to go somewhere just for money. We know it's just about the money. Because look at what LSU is. They're collapsing. Brian Kelly
I blame
made
Brian
this
Kelly
program come down the tiers.
Now it's Lane Kiffin's job to build it back up again, you know?
It's going to be tough.
He's a better coach than Kelly, I'll tell you that.
That's true, but still, that program is just such a downgrade from Ole Miss to LSU. And I think that's about it, but just it was all about money for him. Everybody knew that. He even said it wasn't. But when LSU offers you $90 million, you're going to take it.
Oh, yeah.
Also, real quick, back to MSU. Jonathan Smith's buyout, he still is getting paid $33 million by Michigan State.
Woo! Another Penn State situation right there.
Brian Kelly, Penn State.
Brian Kelly getting the big bag. Obviously, Penn State, Franklin, I was trying to remember his name.
Which he's at Virginia Tech now.
Yep.
Which is even worse than Penn State.
Of course it is. He wasn't going to upgrade his job after that.
No, nobody wanted to hire him.
Right.
In the National Football League, Bears beating Philly on Friday. We didn't watch because we were at Ford Field. But still, what is happening?
It's a weird...
We cannot let the Bears win the division.
Well, I'd rather them win the division than the Packers, so... That's what's
I cannot let the Bears win the division.
There you go.
As a fellow owner here.
Okay.
Or fellow owner. It's in the way.
All right.
And then a couple of great games on Thursday.
It stinks. I really didn't get to watch much football on Thursday. I was so busy with Thanksgiving and everything. I just couldn't watch. I only watched like a little bit, like a half maybe of the Lions game, and that was all I could end up watching.
Oh, well, you didn't miss much in that game.
No.
Green Bay, if they beat Chicago this Sunday, they take over the lead in the division, and then they would become, I think, the 2 or 3 seed in the NFC. Now,
I'm not being a Debbie Downer for you, but I'm just wondering what happens if they lose.
I would let me look at the division standings because I wonder. The Lions still have to play the Bears too,
right?
So
I'm just curious if the Lions win and win out, essentially, and if the Packers lose this game to the Bears, what the situation would look like there. Because obviously you guys have the tiebreaker over us, but you also have a tie.
So, right now in the division, Green Bay's 3-0 division record, and Chicago is 1-2.
Yeah, but you're probably not going to have them tie because you're not going to have them be tied at any point because the Bears would have to get a tie somewhere at the end of the year. You just can't expect that.
So Green Bay's 8-3-1. Chicago's 9-3. So Green Bay wins. They take over first place because Chicago would have 4 losses. Green Bay only 3 because of the tie.
Right, but then if Green Bay loses, they're 9-4-1.
8-4-1.
8-4-1, excuse me. And then what would the Lions be with a win this week?
8-5.
8-5. So
Green Bay would still be
Green Bay
ahead
would
of
have
Detroit by a game.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So Green Bay would have to lose twice, and the Lions would have to win out
Pretty much.
for the Lions to leapfrog Green Bay.
And we still have to play both games against Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
We also have, so this Sunday is the Bears. Next Sunday we're at Denver.
Man. They looked a little bit more
That's
human last
another
night,
4:30 prime time.
Did you watch that game last night real quick?
I did. It was a great game.
Great game. Great game. Didn't think it was going to be going in, but down to the very last play in overtime. Great.
So then after the Broncos is the second game against the Bears.
Okay.
And then, even though they're 6-6, we host Baltimore in Week 17.
Watch out for Baltimore.
Yeah.
I love that game. That's a great
An
game.
AFC team could be screwing things up for us.
Yep.
And then we end the year at Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that's a free win. So basically, I think as long as I think we only have to beat the Bears one of the 2 games, and then we need to root for the Lions to beat Chicago, and then that would, I think, break the division for us.
Yeah. As long as Green Bay doesn't win the division, I'm satisfied.
So are the Lions done?
No. I think they still have a shot at the playoffs.
Well, Amon-Ra's out. Frank Ragnow came out of retirement, but he's not playing this year.
Yeah, he can't. Didn't pass the physical.
I've never heard of that.
Yes,
by the
they
way,
must
ever.
have found something. I don't know. They must have
It
found
was a
something.
hamstring.
Is that what it was?
injury.
Okay.
Yeah. So just looking at the standings really quick. NFC. So Lions are 8th. They are, 7-5. San Francisco, who's 7th, is 9-4. So Detroit's 1 and I think it would be 1.5 games back of the Niners. Niners schedule coming up. They get a free win this week. They play the Titans.
Definitely a free win there.
And then they play the Colts, Chicago, and Seattle to end the year.
That's a tough schedule to end the year.
So, I would like that if you're Detroit.
Yeah.
The schedule that San Fran has coming up. And then, if you're the Lions, you're at the at home against Cowboys this Thursday. That's a loss.
Pretty much. That's a loss. Get out of here.
Yeah, it is.
Get out of here.
It is. Best offense in the
outta here.
NFL this year, Dallas.
Get out of here. Detroit's going to win that game.
Oh, and then you play at the Rams. That's another loss.
That's a tough game. Anything can happen.
And then you get 2 free wins against Pittsburgh and the Vikings. And then you end the year at Chicago.
Pittsburgh is sneaky good, though. But yeah.
Oh, they haven't been looking like
if
it.
Rudolph, no, but they have the possibility to be sneaky good. I guess that'd be a better way of saying it. But, I mean, I don't know if Rodgers got hurt. Mason Rudolph came into the game late this week, so I'm not sure if
Rodgers came back.
He did come back, okay, because I was kind of flipping through, so I didn't see the full game.
And in the very last drive of the game, it was already garbage time. They threw out Mason Rudolph.
Oh, okay, that's what happened. Because I saw it was like a sack to end the drive, and he was really slow getting up. So I was thinking, like, oh man, is Rodgers hurt on this play? And then I saw Rudolph when I tuned back, so I thought, oh no, but.
So I think if you're the Lions, other than the couple of the Cowboys and Rams game, if I'm a Lions fan, I like your schedule the rest of the way out. Obviously, again, game against Chicago, that could come down to if you're in the playoffs or not, because of the loss you'll have to the Rams. So, and maybe against Cowboys, the Lions have to have this game against Dallas. So, real quick, also before we go, winter sports season for high school kicks off this week. Boys basketball, there's a couple games tonight, Monday, but most everybody plays tomorrow, Tuesday, December 2nd. And also wrestling, bowling, and cheer this week. And then girls basketball starts next week on Monday the 8th. This Friday the 5th, I said earlier, we have a couple of great boys basketball games right away to start off the year. This Friday, Lumen Christi hosting the defending state champ from Division III, Riverview, Gabriel Richard, coming to Lumen Christi. So Riverview's the defending D3 champ. They're also both in the Catholic League, so they're conference rival. And they both played each other in the quarterfinal last year in the playoffs. So this is a huge game. Riverview lost a lot of key players from last year. Lumen lost a couple, but they still have most of their team coming back. So this is going to be a great game Friday. I plan on going to it.
Nice.
So I'll have to let you know what happens.
Yes.
I know you're a Riverview guy. Not a Richard guy, but...
Correct. I'm a Riverview guy, but not a Gabriel Richard guy.
Yeah, I had to clarify
Yes,
that.
thank you. That was my sister. My sister went to Gabriel Richard. I went to the cool version of Riverview. I went to Riverview High. Just to clarify things.
Yeah. And then a lot of your friends went to Cabrini.
Cabrini, yes, correct.
So they're all right by each other,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it's all downriver, so it's all close.
Yeah. We'll just call it all downriver.
Yeah, there you go.
And also subscribe to JTV Sports with the winter sports season starting this week. We'll have a bunch of photos from all the basketball games and some hockey this week in the area as well. So subscribe for
Free 99.
free $99. That way you can save your money and spend it on these Cyber Monday deals.
Yeah, there you go.
Even though you still spent $46 on a Santa hat.
2 Santa hats,
Still.
and they're
doesn't
cool.
matter.
It was a gift. One of them was a gift to you.
I know. Thank you very much.
What are you complaining about it? It was a gift to you.
Thank you very much. I
It's a
appreciate
nice-
it. Still, I was looking on Amazon though. There's a lot of great deals.
There is, yeah. Nothing that I necessarily.
Austin said he was
get.
buying a TV today.
Oh, is he? Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
for his house.
Yeah.
I think he said a big 65-inch
Yeah,
TV.
he talked to me about which TV to get. So yeah.
Oh, he did?
Sick. Yeah.
Tech advice from Adam.
That's right. Of
Bragenzer.
course. Any tech advice you need, just call me.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for listening and watching this week, and hopefully you enjoyed our Thanksgiving show from last week. And also thanks to Carson Cooper for joining
Yes.
as well. We definitely want to have him back on when the season's over.
For sure.
So thanks to Carson Cooper, and thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. That's Adam. I'm David. Go Pack. We'll see you next week.
Go Lions.